Yeah, hi there. In these comments, I'm using your initials ZS, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. So I'm taking a look at the comment you made over at my YouTube channel, and let's see what we have. So you say, I'm a student from Afghanistan. Last year, on October 25th, I took my first TOEFL test. I had about 3 weeks to get ready for the test. At last, I could score 80. So you got 17 on the reading, 17 on the listening, 22 on the speaking, and 24 on the writing. You say, I need to score over 100, so you want to take the test again. You've been preparing for the TOEFL since early August, and now you're going to take the test again on November 12th. So what does that mean? That means that you have about, looks like approximately maybe 3 weeks or so to get ready for it, so you don't have a lot of time. You say, in these 2 months, I practiced reading and listening a lot because my reading and listening were terrible. I have just 1 month. I have to practice speaking and writing too. However, I just finished English academic writing class just a month before. This can be, you say count, I'm going to change it to this can be counted as preparing for the writing section, right? I'm going to say yes. You still need some writing practice, but I think that will be helpful to you. Just making sure that my video is recording here, sorry. So I think if you're doing writing practice, you've been doing a lot of editing, so you're learning how to polish your writing and to avoid those really likely errors that a lot of students make on the independent and integrated writing tasks on the TOEFL IBT. So definitely, ZS, is the writing class you took is helpful. Probably not enough, but it is helpful for you to get ready for the writing. You say on the reading and the listening, no matter what you do, you cannot get higher than 25, right? So you feel like you're stuck. You say, I want to score on these 2 sections at least 28, but I don't know exactly how. What do I need to do more? What am I missing? You say, I really need your help and suggestions to show me how to best use my remaining period. I want to make sure this time I score 100. Now, my recommendations is everybody's in a hurry with this TOEFL thing. I get so many emails and their back's against the wall. They need to do everything in 3 or 4 weeks. But improving your academic English doesn't really work that way. It takes some time for you to make long-lasting improvements with your English abilities, right? And that's what you really want to do, right? So what I want to do now is let's talk about reading first, and I'm going to outline some things that you can do that really, really make a difference in your reading score, right? And ask yourself, do you do these things, right? And remember, a lot of what I recommend, my online course offers all of these things to help you get better, but 3 weeks, honestly, is not enough time. I do not recommend that anybody in your situation who scores 80 and wants to get to 100 to try to do everything in a 3-week time period. That's probably not the best situation. I'm just being honest, right? Okay, so let's talk about reading. You ready? And put this down, take some notes. This is also important for your learning because if you can take notes, you're interacting with what I'm saying, you're more likely to remember it, and it helps you improve your listening and your note-taking. Okay, there's 5 things that you need to do to improve your reading, to make significant improvements with reading. These 5 suggestions I'm going to give you right now, it can probably help you get 4 or 5 points higher on the reading section, but it'll probably take at least 2 or 3 months for you to really make these changes, to get these improvements. Number 1, improve your vocabulary. If you join my online course, I recommend that you go through first vocabulary lesson 3, then complete vocabulary lesson 4, then lesson 5, and lesson 6. If you complete those 4 lessons, you improve your vocabulary to 1,700 words. Now, a lot of the vocabulary, you can download the audio files. You should do that. and you should put these vocabulary words on your phone. Or you can put them on a tablet, but you need to listen to the words. You need to practice writing them down. Write down some sample sentences. Write down the definition. You can even use note cards if you want. So if you use note cards, like 4x6 note cards, you can put the word really, really large font. You can put the word on one side, then you can put on the other side of the card, you can put the sample definition along with a sample sentence. All right, now number 2, in addition to improving vocabulary, you need to actively read every day and do not read TOEFL materials only. You need to get used to reading newspapers, magazines, and also longer books. My recommendation is a minimum of 45 words or 45 minutes a day that you're doing reading practice. This is very helpful. Now, my online course doesn't really offer this. I have a great reading section, but you should do this reading on your own by choosing reading materials in which you have an interest. Number 3, you need to improve your reading speed to a minimum of 300 to 350 words per minute. I'm surprised by how many students, they don't even know what their reading speed is, but let's face it, when you're doing the TOEFL exam, you have the reading section, you have these long passages, you have about 4 or 5 of these passages, you have anywhere from 35 to 50 or 60 questions that you're trying to answer, so you need to read quickly so you can find this information, so you can answer those questions. So you must increase your reading speed. Now, Zoa, my online TOEFL course offers you 70 speed reading practice tests to help you improve your reading speed from 100 to 350 words a minute. Your goal is to use my online course to increase that reading speed. I'm telling you, faster readers have better comprehension. Now, number 4. My 4th suggestion is you should go into the reading section of my online TOEFL course and you need to go over those videos that talk about the reading question types and the strategies for answering them. That's going to be very important. Now, number 5. My 5th suggestion is I recommend that you use, it sounds like you have a lot of different books here that you're using. I recommend that you use a TOEFL book and do some reading practice tests. You need to figure out how you're doing, which questions you're having more difficulty with, and then practice those kinds of questions. For example, we have main idea questions, vocabulary questions, organization questions. You complete charts and tables. You have all of those different kinds of questions that you're trying to answer, so you need to get familiar with how to answer those kinds of questions. Now, if you do these 5 things, I'm telling you, you will find improvements in your reading comprehension. Now, what I've been telling you in this video is you want to use my online course to help you improve vocabulary, to help you improve your reading speed, and to help you become familiar with the reading question types and the strategies for answering them. So do those 5 things, you definitely will improve your reading. Right? Now let me give you some more recommendations. Now, as you know, in the listening part of my course, I have about 40 listening practice tests. Now, one other thing too, as you improve your vocabulary, your listening skills are also going to get better because you will be able to recognize a lot of the words in the lectures that you're hearing. You actually will know what they are and what they mean. And that makes it much easier for you to answer those questions, right? So as you're going through the listening part of my course, right, there's 40 listening practice tests. And in the listening part of my course, I give you a lot of really good strategies for improving your listening comprehension. You want to make sure that you are following my suggestions. And you will also be able to improve your listening. Now, a couple of things now. Let's talk about the reading and the listening parts of my course. And I would give you some suggestions. Now, obviously, as you go through the reading and the listening sections of my course, as you do the passages, you should take down notes. Of course, you're using your notes to answer the reading comprehension questions and the listening comprehension questions. But I want to help you really improve. So you want to take this a step further. So in addition to using the notes to answer the comprehension questions, you should be using your notes for 2 purposes. Number 1, I want you to write this week 3 academic summaries. Each summary should be about 250 words. Now, you do not need to send me the summary that you're writing. You're just doing it on your own. There'll be other things that you'll be sending me. I'll explain in a minute. Now, number 2, you should also be speaking about the reading and the listening passages using your notes. Again, I recommend that you record yourself and speak about the information in about 60 seconds. Now, because you're recording it, you can listen to it again. You can check for delivery, topic development, and any possible language use problems. Again, you do not need to send me these recordings. So if you go through the reading and the listening parts of my course and you follow the suggestions I'm outlining in this video, you will find that you will improve your reading and your listening. The question is, can you make the improvements that you need by November 12th, right? I don't know. I can't answer that. So I'm going to be honest with you. It takes time to make these improvements. Now, in addition, right, so you're using the vocabulary part of my course. You're using the reading and the listening part of my course. As you also know, I have a speaking and writing section. In the speaking part of my course, I have over 300 speaking topics. You can start sending me speaking tasks. I will listen to them. I'll comment on them. I will give you a score. And I will tell you any pronunciation, language use, or topic development problems that you're having. So you do need to get some feedback, and that's what my job is to help you understand what kinds of problems you're having with your speaking and how you can get better. Now, your writing is already pretty good, right? So, but you want to get higher, right? You probably want to get close to 28 or 29 on the writing. So you can start sending me writing practice tests. I have 40 independent writing practice tests. I have 43 integrated writing practice tests. You can start sending me writing practice tests. You'll get some feedback from that. You can also make some adjustments. You can complete more practice tests. Now, remember my one rule. I don't want anybody to join my course without knowing my one rule. My one rule is this. Remember, I'm trying to keep the price of my course low for international students who live in countries and they're on tight budgets, right? I don't want to charge, $500 or $600 for an online TOEFL course. I don't want to do that. Okay, so don't send me more than one speaking practice test daily. Just one. Wait for me to give you comments. Once you get the comments on that, then send me another one. Now, if you want to practice pronunciation, you can do that. You can complete some pronunciation practice exercises, again, but only send me one per day. Basically, if it's pronunciation or speaking practice, don't send me more than 60 seconds of audio practice on any given day, because I need to comment on your speaking or your pronunciation. I want to be able to give feedback to everybody. Now, the same rule applies for writing. Only complete one writing practice test per day. All right, and that's part of my plan for you. So if you keep in mind what I outlined for the reading, the 5 things, remember that. Hopefully you wrote those down. And I gave you some good tips on how you can use the reading and the listening parts of my course to help improve not just the listening and the reading, but integrated writing and integrated speaking as well, right? That's partly why I'm giving you these tips. And then also, from this video that you will also get feedback when you complete the speaking and the writing practice test. So I invite you now to join my online TOEFL course, and let's get started today.